Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. We are here to do some biology. Yeah, we have biology exam coming up in a little bit. And a good night to everyone. Yeah, we want to do some biology, practice some biology paper one. The exam is right around the corner. Yeah, the exam is right around the corner. Obviously, your favorite principal wouldn't leave you hanging without doing a couple lives to make sure you practice and are prepared and confident going into the exam. Yeah. For all students, anyone and everyone, you could come on, share your comments. Good evening to all of you who have already joined up. Yeah, just giving a little more time for other persons to come on. We will be here again at about the same time, 8 o'clock-ish. Yeah, so do remember to check us out again. We are going into June. This is the coming up the final week for CSEC exam season for May, June. So yeah, it ends on Friday with mathematics. We know maths is the end. English is on the Thursday, the penultimate day. So yeah, we are going along smoothly with the exams. We have biology coming up on Tuesday, HSB on Monday. So yeah, even after this stream, in the 9 o'clock hour, we would do a HSB stream. Yeah, I would come back to do HSB to make sure our HSB candidates are also prepared and feeling confident. And obviously, we have a crash course, right? So persons should use the link in the description to join the crash course. It's free. Yeah, that goes without saying. It's free. You could sign up with the link in the description. So we want to get into the 2023 biology June paper one for practice. You know this syllabus. This is the syllabus that you are being tested on. So let's kick things off here. Yeah, let's get things started. All right, so good evening to everyone. Your favorite principal here again, Travis Roach, to take you through this May-June 2023 paper one. You know, for this exam, you have an hour and 15 minutes. All right. You have just about 75 minutes to read the whole paper, answer all the questions. There are 60 items, 60 questions. You have to answer all of them. Yeah. Do remember, if you change an answer, to make sure you have a good eraser, erase properly. This exam or paper ones are not corrected by humans, they're corrected by computer, they're corrected electronically. So that shading, if you double shade, you automatically get the question wrong. So when you're changing the answer, make sure you erase the one that you do not want shaded. Yeah. You should be using a pencil to do this exam. So let's jump into it. The first item on this paper, which is question one. Which of the following features is used to classify a group of organisms as class Insecta? You have the shape, Shape is used to classify nothing. Shape is classifies nothing. Size, shape, color, number of segments. All right, and the one that automatically jumps out us is D. So let me just change to highlights and start things off with D for number 1. I like that persons are already here with me. All right, so let's roll. Which of the following options correctly identifies a niche and a habitat? A niche is the job of the organism. The habitat is the place where it lives. And we see that answer coming up right at the top for A. But you, when you are doing the exam, read all. Please read all. I mean, it will just take you 20 more seconds to read it. You have a minute and 15 seconds for every question. So please read them. Living organisms, such as plants, are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. Which of the following lists presents some of these determining factors? And I hope everyone sees that the first set of questions will always come from section A of the syllabus. So number 3, sunlight, availability, soil pH, minerals. Those are abiotic factors. Abiotic factors means the non-living things. They told you abiotic factors. So we are looking for that. Parasitism, commensalism, mutualism, obviously that's living. Predation is living in C. And deforestation, slash and burn, and shift cultivation, shifting cultivation, well, those things are affecting living living things. So, right? So the only one with everything not living is B. Which of the following organisms are most important in biodegradation? So in the breakdown of biotic matter, which one is the most important? Is it bacteria, vultures, omnivores, earthworms? Here's the thing. They said most. Most, when you see a question like most, it means other answers could be correct. And in this case, all 4 is correct in the sense of correct for the question, but we want the best answer. That's the point of multiple choice, to get the best answer. Well, we're not guessing, right? We want to actually state that A is the best answer. Bacteria does it the most, right? Does it more than vultures, omnivores, and earthworms. So A for apple. I like that, Swifty. Item 5 refers to the following food chain, which shows the feeding relationship in a freshwater lake. And I don't know if persons already know. And I will explain this in a whole lot more detail in the crash course. So make sure you all sign up for the crash course. Use the description, use the link in the description to sign up. But these questions, they check a specific thing on the syllabus. You know, you have knowledge and comprehension, use of knowledge. They only check a specific thing on the syllabus. So they don't want you interpreting questions, etc. They just want you answering them. There is one answer for each one. They just want you answering. All right. So which of the following organisms would be considered the secondary consumer? And I already read the question in my mind, so I knew that this was secondary, right? The larva is primary, eel secondary, pike tertiary. Had it have a 5th trophic level, that would have been quaternary. Question 6. Item 6 refers to the following food web. We have a nice food web. This food web is probably something from the South American continent or from Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, ocelots are from South America and in Trinidad. So yeah, how many food chains are there in the food web shown above? And all you have to do is count it. Yeah, count it. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. How many did you all come up with? I hope everyone else came up with 3. Yeah. So this question is a giveaway question. Eh? All you have to do is count it. They're literally asking you about counting. Yeah. I see somebody already answering number 8. Wow. Nice. You're moving way faster than me. Wonderful. Approximately 10% of the energy stored in food is available to the next organisms in a food chain because what? This is a question where you have to read all the answers. Most of the energy is lost as heat during the process of respiration. That's actually very correct. Most of the energy is lost during the process of what? There are fewer consumers than producers. What? No. Many consumers compete for the same. What? No. Right? So the answer for 7, we see it coming out as A, right? That is the best explanation. Gabriel, this will be on YouTube after. Yes, that's correct. These lives are actually happening on YouTube. So yeah, it will be on YouTube after. Which of the following processes convert organic matter to inorganic form? Yeah. So from number 8, we see this carbon cycle. We want to go from the organic form, which is living, to the inorganic form. Yeah. So for 8, we are looking at, we see from grass, it goes up into the atmosphere. That's one way. And we see from grass, it goes, well, we are looking at here, organic to atmosphere again, right? So 2 and was it 6? So which one has 2 and 6? Look at right here. Boom, C. Jared, yes, the crash course is free. Do sign up. Which of the following outcomes, conditions, would be considered a negative impact of human activities on the environment? For question 9. And is it pollution, habitat loss, climate change? It should be all 3. Pollution, habitat loss, and climate change is all negative things because of human activity on the environment. So we go in with D. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, going with the number 10. Which of the following are effects of pollutants on coral reefs in the Caribbean? Less reef fish, yeah, more branching corals, increase in macroalgae and seagrass growth. So for 10, we looking for 1 and 3. Why should I have more branching coral? Yeah, so for 10, we rolling with B. Number 11. There's a popular question. There's a popular question. The graph of population growth, phase 4. And we see phase 4 being a dip. Phase 4 of the graph of population growth is most likely due to what? What's happening for question 11? Competition from invasive species, yes. Adequate food and space, no, that should carry it up. So B is wrong. A high natural birth rate, that will carry up the population. So C is wrong. Disease resistance mean things that dying from diseases. So D is wrong. So A, we are rolling with A for number 11. When compared to a chick cell, a muscle cell contains more mitochondria. Everyone should just know this question. This is not a question for thinking. This is just a question to know. Muscle cells do have a lot of mitochondria because of the energy demand needed. Item 13 refers to the following diagram of a cell. We have 1 point in time mitochondria. We have is a plant cell because we see in a cell wall, right? We have 2 chloroplasts. Anytime you see those lines, that's chloroplast they're drawing. We have the vacuole, the permanent vacuole, or the large vacuole. And we have this, what for should be the nucleus. The structure responsible for controlling cellular activities. So 13, I just mentioned the nucleus as for So D for 13. Yeah. Number 14, we have a xylem vessel. And the major feature that is responsible for the rigid structure of the xylem vessel is what? The lignin. Straight up. All right, straight up. Easiest question that we come across so far. Yeah, easy, and the answer was actually A2, so makes it even better. Question 15. What can be done to cause the level of solution in the Petri dish to rise after 20 minutes? So we have the potato, the solution in the Petri dish here. You want this to go up. They're saying distilled water is here. You want it to go up. You want it to increase. So if you want the Petri dish solution to increase, what should you do? You should probably add something to the Petri dish only. So water leaves from inside the potato into that. Which question says that? B. Add 5 grams of salt to the distilled water in the Petri dish only. B. And I'm glad that other persons are seeing it like that as well. Persons are able to put forth the answer before I am able to do it. Wonderful, wonderful. Rate of photosynthesis. This is a popular graph. This is a popular graph, yeah? A familiar graph, very familiar. Which of the following statements best accounts for the shape of the graph? And you have a bit of reading to do. I do suggest you read all, but I've done this question so many times. I could see the answer popping out as question C. As light intensity increases, there is an increase in photosynthesis until there is no further increase in the rate due to some other limiting factor. Yeah? Yeah? So light intensity is no longer the limiting factor, but it's something else. In this case, it's could be the efficiency of the leaf, etc. Question 17. Which of the following features would not enhance a leaf's ability to absorb solar energy? Large surface area, the thing is not enhancing. Large surface area is improving it. Transparent cuticle, improving it. Presence of a vascular bundle, numerous chloroplasts on the palisade cell. So 17, we see the answer becoming C. Yeah. Quite a few of you said C as well. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And do keep track, do keep track of your performance, see how many you are getting correct, right? You want to be, by time the exam comes around on Tuesday, you want to be scoring over 50 out of 60 in these multiple choice. Ideally, you want to score all 60, yeah, because all of this is for the one. Item 18 refers to the following diagram, which represents a metabolic process carried out in plants. We have water, carbon dioxide. Well, everyone's seeing that this is photosynthesis in a diagrammatic representation. The food produced is glucose. I like that. I like that. You were so confident you could say the answer multiple times. 19 refers to the following longitudinal section of a tooth. All right, so basically they just cut the tooth straight down. Which region of the tooth contains a large number of blood vessels and nerves? Obviously, we're looking at the pulp cavity. So it comes up here and goes into this area here, which is 3. C. C is the answer for number 19. Looking for question 20, we have some graph shows the effect of temperature on an enzyme-controlled reaction. So as temperature increases, the enzyme activity should increase until the optimum temperature, at which point denaturation starts to occur. So this graph is the best representation of that. D, and others were saying D as well, 20D. Nice. Dale, Francis, Henry, Blue. Yeah, all of them were saying D. Yeah. 21. A 50-year-old male is advised by his doctor to pay special attention to the amount of salt in his diet. He probably has a high chance of developing salt, as in sodium chloride, is responsible for high blood pressure. A fancy word for high blood pressure is 21, hypertension. Which of the following options correctly matches the gaseous exchange structures with the organism? Human, the gaseous exchange structure is the alveoli. Fish, we have the gill filaments. And well, we already seen that the answer is B. And plants, large leaves. Yeah. So please don't mix up the gill filaments and the gill rakers. Yeah. You know, sometimes students may mix that up. They are literally connected to each other, but don't mix them up. The gill filaments are similar to the alveoli. Yeah. The gill rakers are a firmer structure. Figure item 23 refers to the following diagram of a respiratory system with structures labeled 1 to 4. Which of the labeled structures represent a rib cage? And we know this is a longitudinal section, so the bones will just be little circles. They are the bones here. Did they draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? They draw 10. They just left out a little 2. We know that there are 12 pairs of ribs, but still focus on the question. B is the answer. B is the answer. Which of the following conditions is an effect of carbon monoxide found in cigarette smoke? Right, so we reach on to we end respiration questions. So 24, increase heart rate from carbon monoxide. What? Increase beating of cilia, reduce oxygen transport by the blood, increase mucus production. Well, okay, C is jumping out to be the best answer, right? And carbon monoxide, it binds to the red blood cells. So oxygen cannot be transported by those same red blood cells, right? So hence it reduces the transportation of oxygen. An amoeba obtains all its oxygen it needs by diffusion via its cell membrane, while a human needs to have special respiratory surfaces for this purpose. The reason which best accounts for this difference is that what is happening in 25? You should read all of them. A human's surface area to volume ratio is so small for the fusion, is too small for the fusion to be effective. And that is true. The amoeba, the surface area to volume ratio is really high, right? It has a huge surface area compared to the humans, which the surface area is really small. All right, so 25, the answer is D. Yes, yes, yes. I like to see those D's coming in. I am doing HSB after after this, another live after in the 9 o'clock hour. So you can check back then for HSB. It's after this. Yeah. I do know HSB is the day before biology. Yes. But we'll have a HSB session after. The activities 1, 2, 3, and 4 listed below are involved in the clotting of blood. Fibrinogen is converted to fibrin, blood cells are trapped, platelets are activated, damage to blood vessels. And the first thing that should happen to activate blood clotting in a normal person is the damage to the blood vessels. So once we're looking for that number 4 being first, the only answer that gives that is D. Yeah, the only answer that gives that is D. 27. Why is it difficult to develop a vaccine for the common cold? I've seen this question in so many papers, from social studies, HSB, integrated science, biology, general science. This question, CXC really like to use this question across so many papers, right? Even food and nutrition. So anyway, back to it. Why is it difficult to develop a vaccine for the common cold? Vaccines cannot be developed for viruses. The antigens for the common cold change frequently. Yes, the antigens for the common cold remains the same. No human beings cannot produce antibodies for the common cold. So 27 is obviously B. And I see a list of B's in the chat. So yeah, somebody already told us that C is the answer for 28. So let's see. In the transport of solutes in the phloem, the source is identified as any area of the plant where they saying sucrose is loaded into the phloem. And that's correct. Yeah, that is correct, right? The source is where sucrose is loaded. Yeah, sucrose is loaded and then it goes into the phloem. And then, well, the question don't ask any more than that. So that person who did answers up front was correct. 29. What is the main storage product of plants? Let me see what the chat is saying for 29. And I hope everyone is starting the word with an S. Start the word with an S. 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 But if you're thinking starch, then you are correct. If you're thinking starch, then you are correct. Which of the following substances is removed through egestion? Egestion. Remember, egestion is not excretion. Excretion is like urination. Egestion is feces. And we know feces is undigested food. So Tate is D. Yes. Goku Black. Yeah, paper one we trust. I like it. I hope that means we get in 60 out of 60. Yeah. I want to encourage persons subscribe to the channel. We will do another live tomorrow as well. Click the notification bell so that pops up. You get a notification when we go live again for biology. And make sure you all sign up for the crash course. Make sure you sign up for the crash course for biology. We are having that the day before the exam. Use the link in the chat or use the link on the description to sign up. Yeah. So question 31. Which of the following processes is not a form of excretion in plants? Carbon dioxide diffusing in through the stomata. Substances being stored in the bark of a tree, we're looking for nut. Water vapor diffusing out through the epidermis. Calcium oxalate crystals being stored in leaves during the fall. Well, carbon dioxide diffusing in through the stomata. Why is it going in? We're not too sure why it's going in, right? So that just becomes wrong. Which of the following changes in the concentration of substances is most likely to occur in the blood of persons who suffer from kidney disease? All right, they have kidney disease, so it means kidney problems. For question 32, increase in urea, yes. Decrease in no. Increase in glucose, that is not kidney disease. But so straight away, 32, we see 32 as jumping up to being A. Which of the following correctly describes movement in plants? I always encourage students to look for this question and take your time with this question. Think it through. Yeah, think it through. Growth, movement, part movement, whole body movement. Take your time with this question. Don't rush it. I always encourage students to spend their time with this question. For some reason, it's often not a best done question. Yeah. So just take your time with question 33. So growth movement, part movement, so we're looking for 1 and 2, whole body movement. Is it that the plant is going to get up and move? Right? Yes, but the planting. So 1, 2, and 3. What are you all saying? Let me see. Growth movement, the plant grows. That is a form of movement. Part movement, part of the plant could grow. Is there whole body movement for 33? If the plant gets up and run away, does the plant skip out? So anyway, right? The plant is not an animal. The whole body, meaning the whole plant, the plant doesn't uproot itself and run away. All right, that had to be, I'll be reading some manga or something to see that happen. But anyway, so 33, the answer is B. 34, in humans, the skeletal system performs a variety of functions. Mastication, that's a fancy word for chewing. Right? The immune response, hormone formation, blood cell formation. What's going on here? Right? So 34, we're looking for the one that it's actually doing, and it's blood cell formation. We know red blood cells and white blood cells do develop and become mature in the bones of the skeletal system. So the answer for 34 is D. Locomotion is important to animals for avoiding predators. Yeah. Reproduction. Yeah. Assimilation, as in when you digest products, you take it into what? No. So 35, we're looking for one that says 1 and 2, and that is A. A. So 35, the answer is A. 36 refers to the following diagram with structures labeled 1, 2, and 3. We have a bicep muscle here. So 1, the skin of the hand. And we know if this is a reflex arc, the skin of the hand, meaning that's the sensory part of it, the skin of the hand. We're talking about touch. So it starts here. So it starts here if we're following the pathway, but that's not what they're asking us to do, right? They're asking the numbered structures are what? They're asking us to identify the structures. So we just have to look and see what 1, 2, and 3 is. So 1, what is 1? Motor neuron. 2, sensory neuron. 3, some kind of relay neuron. So 36, we are rocking with C. Which of the following best describes the term stimulus and response? For question 37, a change that is detectable in the environment is a stimulus, and a response is how you go about reacting to that stimulus. So 37 is D. A detectable change in an organism's environment, an organism's reaction to a stimulus. So yeah, D. Please remember, when you doing the questions, you read all the responses. All right. 38 section of human skin with labeled structures. Which structure is not involved in temperature regulation? Which means you just have to know the structures. We see 1, the erector muscle that is pull the skin. 2, this gland here is secrete a little oil. Sebum, the capillaries, sweat gland. So which one it is? What is the chart saying? Let me see. Is the chart saying the gland that secretes sebum as well? Are you all saying B, B? Yes, I'm seeing. Am I seeing B's? Yes, I am seeing some B's. Some B's. Yes, I am seeing some B's. All right. Someone is asking for chemistry tomorrow. Tomorrow is already a full day. It might be hard for us to throw in more. Question 39. The function of the choroid layer in the eye. For 39 is focus most light rays, no, prevent internal refraction and reflection, yes. Ooh, all right, but we obtained the answer already there. Maintain the shape of the eyeball, no. Control the amount of light entering the eye, no. So for 39, we already get the answer as B. Question. King, we're doing HSB tonight and tomorrow as well. Yes, yes. And plus there's a crash course for HSB tomorrow as well. And it has paper 3 to do. So plenty, plenty. That's why we may not be able to get to chemistry. Yeah. Item 40 refers to the following diagram, which shows nearsightedness in the eye. If you do have a specific chemistry paper that you want us to help you with, we could probably just might be able to do a video on it, but not sure we'll be able to do a live for it. Item 40 refers to the following diagram, which shows nearsightedness in the eye. Which of the following shows how the defect can be corrected? Nearsightedness, which means this cross, this focus point is falling before the retina. It needs to go backwards. So you need to divert the light that it should go further back. Yeah, so obviously that's a divergent lens and you want it to go further back. Bend the light right before entering the eye outwards. Yeah, you want to bend them outwards. So 40, the answer is A. Mhm. The statements below describe the process is taking place within a seed during germination. And they want you to put the sequence of events in order. The embryo uses food to develop the radicle and plumule. And that sound like it should be the last thing that happened. Anyway, enzymes break down proteins into amino acids. Soluble products move into the embryo. So for 41, if 1 is the last thing that's happening, that means we're coming up with the answer being D. Once the radicle and plumule is already growing, that means germination has already taken place. We're moving on from germination to seedling step, which is growth. Item 42. Which of the following labels would be incorrect on the y-axis? So we want mass, we want length, we have units of time, and the number of leaves. And for y-axis, units of time. The y-axis is this one here, right? The up-down axis, right? The XY is the horizontal, the vertical is the y-axis. So the units of time should be a x-axis thing. So C is a good answer. 43, the production of new organisms from one parent only is known as. This is a giveaway question, eh? This is a giveaway question. It don't have anything else to choose from. 44 refers to the following diagrams. flowers labeled 1 and 2 from two different types of plants. Which of the following statements for both flowers is true? So we're looking for the true statements. Both are wind pollinated, no. Petals absent from both 1 and 2. Both are pollinated by hummingbirds. No. 1 is pollinated by wind, while 2 is pollinated by a hummingbird. That could prove to be correct. So 44 is D. Yeah. Which of the following forms of birth control is most likely 100% effective? To reach there, you need to venture into the surgical realm, and still, that is not 100% effective, right? It's very close to 100, but still not 100% effective. So tubal ligation, yeah, that's for the female, is, you might know it as cotton tubes or something like that. But yeah, that's the one that they're saying most likely 100% effective. Yeah. All right. So which of the following structures is common to both cells? These two are usually, when you're studying the bioservice, are usually the final cells that you need to know. The sperm and egg is usually the final two. You need to know 9 cells in biology, in the biology syllabus, and these are the last two that you need to know. So what's the answer for 46? Which of the following structures is common to both cells? Do they have a cilium, a nucleus, a cell wall, an acrosome? Yeah, and I hope everyone is thinking about a nucleus, because if they are sperm and egg, they must contain DNA. They must contain the chromosomes, yeah? And that is found in the nucleus, yeah? In the nucleus. So that's a kind of giveaway question. Which of the following shows the correct sequence for seed formation after fertilization? So fertilization has occurred. These are plants we are talking about. Fertilization has occurred, and it means the two gametes have fused. When we have the two gametes fused, what's the next step? What's the next step? Yes, we have the ovule, we have the zygote, we have the embryo, we have the seed. Yeah, I see some persons already saying A in the chat. Yes, right? And they told you that the seed formation was the last, right? So there are only 2 options with seed, well, 3 options with seed being the last, but the starting point must make sense as well. Which of the following diseases matches its category? Somebody asking, when is HSB? HSB is after this. Yeah, HSB is after this. Disease and the category of disease: cholera, physiological, pellagra, hereditary, AIDS, pathogenic, atherosclerosis, deficiency. The only one that making sense there is 48 being C. An animal which transmits a disease-causing organism, but which is not adversely affected by it, is called a host, a vector, a parasite, a pathogen. It's the answer for 49 is B. Item 50 refers to the following diagram, which shows the life cycle of a vector with stages labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. At which stage is the vector easily controlled by the use of aerosols, insecticide? So that's basically, that's bug spray. You know that as insect spray. Yeah. So we want to control for the adult mosquito. With that, as you see it pass, you draw for your spray. All right, so 50 is D. Which of the following descriptions best defines a chromosome? Two forms of the same gene. No, that's not chromosome. That's allele. A structure made up of DNA wrapped around histone. Yeah, that's a great description for chromosomes. Nucleic acid that contains all genetic information. That's just DNA. Part of the DNA which carries genetic information to produce a protein. That's just a gene. Right, so 52, we have 4 stages of mitosis, the correct order of stages. And I always tell students, when you learn in this, learn the places of the chromosomes. Learn the places of the chromosomes for questions like this. Yeah, don't be so concerned about the names and whatnot. And if you attach the names to the places of the chromosomes, it'll be so much easier. Yeah, it'll be so much easier. So for 52, we have to get this one being first. Well, I could already tell you that 3 is first, 4 is the end. So C is the answer. 53, on a certain Caribbean island where sugarcane is grown, a fungus is accidentally introduced into the island and destroys the entire crop of sugarcane. Which of the following statements best explains this occurrence? The plants were all what? The plants were a hardy variety and could not withstand the. I don't know what hardy variety is. The plants were planted too close together. There was no genetic variation among the plants, so none could survive the attack. That's the answer. Because we are in the 50s. Anytime we are in the 50s, we are in section C of the syllabus. Yeah? Which you know is genetics and variation, hereditary, that kind of material. So I don't know what the plants being all really have to do with it. Which of the following statements about meiosis is not true? So we're looking for the one that is not true. For 54, the number of chromosomes in gametes is double. That is not true. It is actually the opposite, right? It's halved. So it's not doubled. In pea plants, purple flowers are dominant over white flowers. What percentage of the offspring are likely to have white flowers in the following crosses? Homozygous dominant with homozygous recessive. So we have, it means we should get a heterozygous. Yeah, what we should get? Heterozygous with homozygous recessive. What coming out? We have to match them up perfectly. So homozygous dominant with homozygous recessive, we should have heterozygous with homozygous recessive. So all you had to do is you write out these crosses here. This one might take you a little while to do the Punnett square, but write out the cross. You have to do 2 crosses, just write it out, see the percentages come out. Yeah, write it out, see the percentage come out. All right. And we could go with 55 as baby, right? And they ask for what percentage of the offspring are likely to have white flowers in the cross. Remember, purple is dominant over white. So in this first cross, where there is homozygous dominant, there will never be any white flowers. All right, there will never be any white flowers. And based on the chart, I feel I want to write this out very quickly for you. So homozygous dominant. So let's use purple. This is homozygous. This is homozygous dominant, and we have with homozygous recessive. So for the white, we could use W, just so that you could see it. So we have P, W. I'm just doing this a little more because of what I was seeing in the chat. Yeah, so we have PW. PW. All right. So it means that the phenotype for these questions, this will be 100% purple. But the question asks you what percentage of the offspring are white flowers. So the answer is 0%. So the answer is A. I hope that is enough explanation for you, right? So the answer for 55 is A. All right. Question 56. We very much there to the end. I feel that was the only question that kind of gave you all some trouble. So 56, an example of a sex-linked disease. Yes, you have to know two of them for your syllabus. You have to know two of them for your syllabus. Color blindness. Color blindness. Variation in populations is due to mutation, crossing over, asexual reproduction. It's 1 and 2. So 57, we are going with A. 58, a species consists of members that are not closely related, occupy the same habitat, reproduce by asexual means, interbreed under natural conditions, produce fertile offspring. 58, the answer is D. Uh, 59. Which of the following descriptions is true about natural and artificial selection? Reading through them, occurs in domestic populations, involves genetic modification, produces great biological diversity. That's true. Is a faster process. No, it's not. Produce very different organisms from natural population. Yes, so 59 is C. And the last question is always genetic engineering. You all tell me the answer. I want to see in the chat. Tell me the answer for question 60. In which of the stages can insulin be produced by the bacterium? Which stage, which stage, which stage? What's the question? What's the answer? I want everybody to get this question correct. This is the final question for the evening. Yeah, final question for the evening. And yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Right, right, right. It will be the final stage for this little diagram, which is D. Yeah, D is the answer. Yeah. And that is our 60 questions. This has been the May-June 2023 paper. How did you all feel? Are you all feeling that confidence increasing? Yeah. Do remember to check out the other uh, videos for other past papers on this channel. We have done a whole lot. We even put them on a playlist so they're easily accessible for you. Do remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to do more bio lives. We are here again tomorrow. But for now, your favorite principal signing out. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. If you are doing HSB, we are going to start in the next 15 or so minutes. So do check us out there. But otherwise, have a wonderful evening. Remember to sign up for the crash courses as well. And give us that review. That's all we ask, to keep the crash course free. Give us that review. But otherwise, I will see you again tomorrow at the 8 o'clock hour to do another paper. Take care, my friends.